always great catching my next guest, the head striking coach over at Fight Ready, who's in the corner of Henry Cejudo with that controversial win by Song Yadong Saturday night at UFC Seattle. Wanted to see what's going on with Henry and the latest with his team. Eddie Cha joining us here. Eddie, how are you, sir?
I'm good, James. How are you?
I'm doing great. So let's start first with Henry. We saw the photos with the eye and the poke and all that. How's he doing? I know obviously, probably not feeling the greatest after the way the fight ended up, but how's his spirits? How's everything? And how's the injury as well?
He's good. We went to the doctor on Monday morning. I had to drive him because he's still seeing double vision, and he doesn't need surgery. We go check him in 3 days. So, he's as good as can be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. Glad no surgery needed. Take me through sort of the fight and how it played out in terms of, obviously there was the groin shot and then there was the eye poke, which really kind of put the entire fight into jeopardy. As a coach, how do you sort of approach a situation like that? Is it just, obviously you ask how he's doing and everything, but, is it also like you got to keep his emotions in check? Because when something like that happens, it really throws out the game plan, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think it could have gone a lot of different ways. I think there were 2 glowing shots, 1 eye poke. After the eye poke, he was still sticking his fingers out. There shouldn't be a warning. Our warning was before the fight started, so it's very frustrating. But Henry's such a competitor. He could have just gone the easy way out. He could have just taken the no contest. But he wanted 5 minutes. Then he asked how much time we had on the clock so he can try to just kill the clock, get another minute. So that'd be about, 7 minutes approximately. But, he still couldn't see. And if you've never been poked in the eye, especially if you saw the fight, it's like a car crash. He sticks his hand out, Henry trying to throw a punch, and then literally, I think both eyes got poked. So you can only imagine how bad that feels. It wasn't just a gouge. It took a good chunk of his white part of his eye out.
Neither of us here are doctors, but when you're watching the poke and you're seeing the replay, I'm sure you saw it on the screen, or I don't know if you could see it from your vantage point. Did you think the fight was over? Because it did look really bad. I watched and I went, I don't know if this is going to continue on.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what more he could have said. They didn't even do an eye test. How many fingers am I showing up? Are you good to fight? Every time the doctor asked him, are you okay? He goes, I see 4 of you. Give me a minute. I still can't see. And they just still continue to fight. They didn't even ask him. And so it's a little frustrating. There should have been a point deduction. There would have been a draw. No contest would have been no contest. So we just got the short end of the stick, I felt.
You mentioned Henry being a warrior and, obviously taking the 5 minutes and then trying to continue the fight. And it was obviously after the round that it didn't happen. Do you think there was also pressure as well? He's the main event. No one wants a fight to end like that. Do you think there was that pressure too, where it's like, I got to go out there and finish this thing. But obviously with the way things ended, did you kind of feel that there was pressure on him to stay in the fight?
I don't think pressure. I think he really wanted to win. Watching it live, I thought we lost the first was in the air. Second, I thought we won. Watching it back, I thought we won the first. Second was close. Third was somewhat up in the air. But our game plan was to kind of drown him in the later rounds. I don't think Song has won many rounds 4 and 5. And so you see him resting with cardio. I thought we were going to put him on the cage eventually instead of going for takedowns in the open. And I truly believe in my heart we would have won that fight. So yeah. I know Dana doesn't want to run a rematch, but it's so what if,
Yeah, I agree.
But Henry wants to go right back into it. He said, depending on the eye, he wants to go right back into camp and get a fight. So we'll see what the UFC says. Not up to Henry or I. It's up to the brand.
Yeah, the powers that be. No, for sure. I watched the fight. I thought it was fairly competitive. I know Dana sort of made it out that Song was winning every round and all that. Were you surprised that it went to Song just with the scorecards? Because again, I thought the fight was fairly competitive, and sometimes they do call a no contest with situations like that. So what was your gut feeling when they called the fight off?
I didn't feel too comfortable, especially with the way the last round ended, the third round, because you couldn't see. He was kind of running around, and then Henry was saying he saw 4 fingers or 8 fingers or 4 hands moving around like that. So he was just trying to kill time. So I definitely thought we probably lost that round, and round 1 or 2 or whatever it was. So, We didn't want to go to the scorecards right there. We wanted to continue to fight, but he couldn't. We were frustrated. We didn't get a point deduction after he continued to do it. Yeah, it was just an unfortunate situation.
And just last thing, like, what do you make of people saying that he quit and that, he could have continued and all that? Like, again, you look at the poke, it's really bad. He can't see, like, I think fans got to have a little more empathy. Did that surprise you a bit just to see some of those comments?
Yeah, I mean, fans are fans. I think majority of the fans never trained a day in their life. They've never sparred. They've never taken anything. So they're just watching, but if you actually trained and did anything, then you would kind of know. More importantly, get poked in the eye like that extreme. And then most guys can't even open their eyes, Yeah. So I don't really look too far into that.
No, you can't. You go nuts trying to figure out why people are the way they are. So Dana mentions rematch is not next. I just actually talked to Song before I hopped on here with you. It seems like maybe Umar will be next for him. I know there's a few opponents booked up. Is Petr Yan the fight? Because I know he's mentioned that maybe. I don't know if that's a fight that makes sense, but it looks like, if we're going by sort of process of elimination, it looks like Merab and O'Malley are going to rematch. You've got Umar out there. It seems like Yan could be the fight. Is there anyone else we're missing? Do you sort of see Yan as the next opponent?
I have no idea. We just want to get the eye healed first, and
yeah,
I think it's a great, exciting fight with Yan. So we really don't care. Again, it's not really up to us,
Yeah, no, for sure. Just maybe there's like a preference. If he was to fight Yan, how do you look at that fight stylistically? Obviously, Henry's always got the wrestling. His striking's good, as is Petr Yan's. But how do you look at a fight between Henry and Petr Yan there?
I think an exciting fight. Anybody in the top 10, they're so good. You can mix the order up and you would probably believe it. So we'll see what happens. I still think 25 is wide open. I would love to see him go with Pantjoa.
That's true too. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. He could drop to 25 as well. I guess that's something where you got to talk to the PI and make sure everything's good to make that weight. Or have you already got that green light? I can't remember.
No, he can definitely make the weight. I mean, we cut less than, I think, 6 pounds in one session. That was it. So he can definitely make the weight.
Is that something too, like as a coaching group, you might want that a bit, and maybe even Henry himself? It seems like there's a clearer path to a title there with what had happened on Saturday. Like, do you think, especially with the fact that flyweight seems to be struggling to get contenders? Pantosha's fought all these guys. The one guy he hasn't fought is Henry Cejudo.
Yeah, I think Pantosha's lapping people right now, and that's why Asakara got the title shot. But Henry has a great story with him. He picked him on Ultimate Fighter show instead of Moreno, and then all that drama happened, and he was his coach. So there's a good storyline to it. I think it'd be a great fight.
Yeah, and same question. Stylistically, how do you look at Henry and Pantosha if they were to square off?
I think on any given day, Henry can beat anybody. So, but I'm a little biased too.
There we go. No, for sure. Hey, listen, he's won 2 titles, understandable, a gold medal as well. How was Seattle overall, other than what happened in the main event? It seemed like you had a good time out there. Weather was pretty good for the most part.
Yeah, it was good. Got to see you. Got to talk to you a little bit.
Yeah, it was good.
Love Asian food. They had a ton of it. So all the time, Haley and I, we were just going to eat everywhere. So it was fun.
A lot of good restaurants. Were you disappointed? I'm not going to mention the fighter, but were you disappointed they didn't do the face-offs at the top of the Space Needle?
No. That's a promotional thing. It's up to them.
Okay. Well, no, because apparently you guys were supposed to, but there was a fighter who shall not be named did not want to go up there, and so that's why you guys had to do it in front of the Space Needle. Did you know that?
Oh, I had no idea.
Okay, yeah. I won't mention the name because people might get weird about it, but there was a fighter that apparently, what I heard was didn't want to go up, so that's why you guys did it at the bottom. Yeah, so a little inside scoop for me there on this interview.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. Last question. Always got to ask about what else is going on at the gym. Who do you got coming up fight-wise at the gym, and anything you got? You're busy all the time, but any news you can share of any of your fighters that are competing that are coming up here? I'm putting you on the spot here, unfortunately. I know there's so many fighters. Well, let me start first. Obviously, you work a lot with Tracy Cortez. Is there any sort of news on her and when we might see her fight next?
There is. I don't think it's announced. I don't think it's confirmed, but
okay, no worries.
We have got an offer. Yeah, Alatong Haley just got an offer yesterday. Mm-hmm. Kelvin Gasson was fighting next month, March 29th. So he'll be heading out Monday just to get accoladed. Tracy, yeah, I think that's it for right now.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. No, you have a lot of fighters. It's hard
That's
to
what
keep track.
calendar's for.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and hopefully Adam Fugit, I know he didn't get to fight this past week. Hopefully he's getting healthy and he'll get something rebooked soon. I feel for him because he's from the area, right? He was supposed to be on that card. So
yeah, that was a heartbreaker. He wanted to go in there injured and everything else, but when you tear cartilage in your rib, it almost feels like a broken rib, and you can't do anything. So he's just doing rehab every single day, hitting laser, EMF pad. So yeah, he wants to get right back in there the minute he's healed.
There we go. Coach, always good seeing you. I'm glad I got to see you last week. Hopefully things work out with Henry, and we'll be curious to see what his next move is. But in the meantime, if there's anyone you want to thank or anything you want to mention for Fight Ready, as always, I'll give you the last word.
No, shout out to Represent. They just sent me this new jacket.
Yeah,
they've always sponsored me. They've been great. So shout out to Represent, and that's it.